In this module, I'll talk about who we prepare taxes for, the individual taxpayer identification number, and the types of returns we prepare at the community tax centers. Let's start by taking a look at who we prepare taxes for. One of your roles as a client liaison will be to screen our clients for eligibility for our services. So to do that job well, you're going to need to know who we'll prepare taxes for. Here's the scoop. For households with 4 or fewer members, we'll prepare their return if their household income is $50,000 or less. Households with more than 4 members will add an additional $5,000 for each additional household member. So I have a question for you. If a family with 7 household members walks in our door, and after adding up all their income, you see that they made $61,250 last year, are they eligible for our services? I'll give you a moment to think about that. Again, it's a household size of 7, and they made $61,250 last year. Yes, we'll prepare their taxes. Because they have 7 members in their household, we add $15,000 to our income guideline. That means that they could make up to $65,000, and we'd still prepare their taxes for them. Now, before you think that you'll be spending all of your volunteer time adding up household members and figuring out their income thresholds, you won't. The average income for our tax center clients in 2014 was $21,804. So the vast majority of the clients you'll see at intake won't even come near our $50,000 income threshold. So just how strict are we with our income guidelines? Good question. Well, I'll admit we're a bunch of softies. If someone comes in and has $500 over the income guidelines, chances are we're going to let it slide. Anything over $500, check with the manager at your site. The manager is going to make the call based on client wait time and the availability of tax preparers. If you encounter a client who doesn't qualify for our services because of income, you can refer them to 2 places. The first place is online at our website, communitytaxcenters.org. There we have a link to an online self-preparation software called TaxAct that we recommend to our clients. Many of our staff use this software to prepare their taxes, and we all think that it's user-friendly and very affordable. If someone needs in-person assistance but exceeds our income guidelines, AARP runs a free tax clinic in Austin. And although they have a focus on preparing taxes for individuals who are 60 or older, you do not have to be an AARP member or of any particular age to use their service. Okay, so let's return to who we'll prepare taxes for. We'll prepare taxes for people who are self-employed as long as their business expenses don't exceed $10,000 and they don't pay employees. We have no residency requirements. A client can come from practically anywhere in the United States and we'll prepare their taxes for them. Well, last year, 98% of our clients were from the Austin metro area. We had clients from 302 different zip codes visit us. Last year, we even had a client from the zip code 99603, Homer, Alaska. We don't require clients to have Social Security numbers. Over a quarter of our clients don't have and aren't eligible for a Social Security number. These clients either have or need to apply for an individual taxpayer identification number, something you'll hear commonly referred to as an ITIN. So let's go into more detail about the individual taxpayer identification number, the ITIN. So remember, this is a number that's given to people who don't have and aren't eligible for a Social Security number. This can include spouses on the return or dependents on the return. At the tax centers, it's not uncommon to see a return with a mix of Social Security numbers and individual taxpayer identification numbers. For example, you'll commonly see dependents with Social Security numbers and parents with individual taxpayer identification numbers. We can do these returns. An individual taxpayer identification number looks very similar to a Social Security number, but they always begin with the number 9. For tax purposes, you can use an individual taxpayer identification number just as you would a Social Security number. For more information about the individual taxpayer identification number, you can refer to the link provided under the Resources tab on this training site. Some clients will have this number already, and others will need to apply for it for themselves or a dependent. Those who have this number will have a letter from the IRS with the number printed. You can see our resources section for a sample of what an ITIN letter looks like. A client who needs to apply for an ITIN for themselves, a spouse, or a dependent listed on the return, please give them a copy of the green ITIN handout. It's titled How to Get an ITIN. There's a sample of this handout in the resources section of this training website. One thing to remember, something really important. If they don't have an individual taxpayer identification number, don't send them away. We can actually go ahead and prepare their taxes for them that day, and we'll also prepare an ITIN application for them. We'll process ITIN applicant clients the same way you would any other client visiting our tax centers. Let's spend some time talking about the types of returns that we'll prepare at the community tax centers. We'll prepare 2 types of returns: electronically filed returns and paper returns. To e-file or electronically file a tax return, the client needs to have their original Social Security cards or individual taxpayer identification number letters for everyone listed on their return, or they must have filed a return with us within the previous 2 tax years, or we will accept a letter from the IRS or Social Security office with their printed name, address, and SSN or ITIN. We'll also accept legible photocopies if they appear genuine. In all other cases, including returns with ITIN applicants, because remember they're applying for an ITIN, they don't actually have it yet, we'll prepare a paper return for the client. At any time during the filing season, a client who has had a paper return filed can return to the tax center and convert their return to an electronically filed return. For example, you may have a first-time client who has forgotten their Social Security card. Because they haven't filed with us the past couple of years, we'll go ahead and prepare a paper return for them. Now, they probably took off work to come visit us, and they've got everything else they need to prepare their taxes. So they might as well go ahead and prepare their taxes today. They can then return tomorrow or next week with their Social Security card, skip the line, go right to the manager's desk, who will be able to convert their return into an e-filed return. All right, you made it through the first module. Your next task is to take a break, get a snack, stretch a bit, and then come back and proceed with Module 2.